And just like that, the Halloween season is upon us. And the first step of the Halloween process, for WWE anyway, is Hell in a Cell. And tonight's Monday Night Raw, September 10, 2018, is the go-home show to Hell in a Cell. And the big news coming out of tonight's Raw is that Renee Young, tonight, will officially become the third member of the Raw commentary team with Corey Graves and Michael Cole. That means that Jonathan Coachman, check you later, or maybe not. Jonathan Coachman has officially gotten the boot from Monday Night Raw. He is fired from Raw. He will stay on to do the pay-per-view kickoff shows. That does not look like it's any longer going to belong to Renee Young. Jonathan Coachman will now bring his stiff, robotic mannerisms to pay-per-view kickoff shows. So now pay-per-view kickoff shows will be the boring place to be. But Renee Young has officially replaced Jonathan Coachman for the Raw broadcast team. That is official. That is no more here and there. That is no more substitutions. And if you guys remember that video I made about a month ago when Renee Young first substituted for Jonathan Coachman because Coachman was supposedly on assignment when in reality it was just Renee Young getting an opportunity so Suits and Ties could see how well she did, how good she is. Does she have the chutzpah? Is she the right fit? We already knew she was from her time in NXT when she did some commentary work. We knew anybody and their mother would be better than John Coachman, but Renee Young is real damn good. You give her a few more weeks and she gets really comfortable in that position, she'll be alright. Trust me, and then some. But I told you guys in that video, don't be surprised if this one-off leads to a permanent position on that commentary team and permanently exiting Jonathan Coachman to the door. And sure enough, again, the amplified man who never fails you guys was right again. It's like when Drew Bledsoe got injured for the Patriots years and years ago, and Tom Brady, this little skinny backup quarterback, had to take his place, and everybody is like, what the fuck is this? He's gonna replace Drew fucking Bledsoe? Not only did he replace Bledsoe when he was injured, but he was so damn good, Bledsoe never came back. Bledsoe was never the same again. Basically never heard from again. Tom Brady ended up becoming one of the best quarterbacks in the league and will go down as one of the best all time. And we hear stories like this all the time in any sport, in any position, and any run-of-the-mill job. When somebody goes out for a few weeks, somebody steps up to the plate that's been biting at the chops to get in there, waiting for their opportunity. And when the main person exits, even if it's for a week or two, that secondary person, that backup person, who's been waiting for that shit, lets it all go, puts it all on the line, unloads, and they become better than the person who originally held that spot. We see it in sports, we see it in any run-of-the-mill common job. Renee Young stepped up and proved that at least for Jonathan Coachman standards, she's 10 times fucking better. Again, I realize it's not saying much. Jonathan Coachman is just garbage and trash on the microphone at that commentary booth. But I will say this for fans that don't remember him, his first run in WWE, he was never that bad. He was never good, but he was not that bad. He got even worse this time around. It's almost like he didn't follow the product for the years that he was away over at ESPN. Can you blame him? Maybe the fuck not. But if his goal, which he says was always to return to WWE in some way, then maybe you want to keep up with the product. Doesn't look like he really understood the product anymore. Didn't look like he understood a lot of the pro wrestlers, the roster that was performing, and that showed. You know, it may seem so simple, but to a diehard fan of over 30 years, I could see where he was really pulling for shit. I could see where he was struggling. I could see where Jonathan Coachman, A, just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, and B, more importantly, just said the stupidest shit in the world. And every hour we had to have the word of the day, like we were all 10 years old at Sesame Street. Would that be fucking 7 years old? Who the fuck knows? That was a couple decades ago for yours truly. Word of the day. Michael Cole, you ready for it? Michael Cole's got to be like, yeah, give it to me, Michael Cole, but make it quick. Or give it to me, fucking Jonathan Coachman, but make it quick. Give me the word of the day quick, because Roman's about to come out and I got to say, big dog, and give it to me even quicker, because here comes Sasha. Boss time. Oh shit, Orton showed up on Raw. It's vintage Orton. Now give me your word of the day. I tell you, man, between Cole and Coachman, I was getting a headache every fucking time. I just wanted to put my head through a cement wall or hit myself really fucking hard with something. Because legit, I was losing brain cells anyway. Might as well put my head through a fucking cement wall or hit my head hard with something. We don't have to lose brain cells with Jonathan Coachman anymore. We got Renee Young. Again, guys, it is official. Renee Young starts tonight as the third commentary persona for WWE Raw. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Renee Young. I think that's badass. I know a lot of people, they're going to hit the keyboards and start going, this is part of the women's movement and this is bullshit. Guys, I understand as far as, like, the world goes, I got you. I mean, I'm so glad to see women get all these opportunities and shit, but there's times where it's a bit too much, like, relax on some shit. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? And I don't know about this. And this is just for the movement. And I don't think this is the right decision. I agree. But when we're talking Renee Young and John Coachman, how the fuck are you going to tell me John Coachman is better than Renee Young? How the fuck are you going to tell me you want to hear Coachman over Young? You want to see Coachman over Young? The fuck out of here if that's the case. And if that's the case, WWE really got to your brain cells, killed all them motherfuckers off. It's time for a new persona over there, and that persona is Renee Young. She just happens to be female, but she's kick fucking ass. And yes, it does fit a little bit of an agenda for them, doesn't it? You have the women at the broadcast table now, and it's right in time for Evolution. I like it. As a company person, if I'm running WWE, I think that's a fucking easy decision to make. You watch Sunday Night Baseball with Alex Rodriguez, and who's right next to him? It's a female. Right? Who's that? Fucking Jessica? I want to say Jessica, right? All apologies if it's not. But she knows all her shit about baseball, man. She knows a lot more about baseball than a lot of dudes I've seen in that booth on Sunday Night Baseball, I assure you. More than my fucking Yankees manager, Aaron Boone, who makes every fucking managerial fucking horrible decision just like Joe Girardi used to. Aaron Boone was in there. We thought he knew a shitload about baseball, and look at him this year. Thank goodness we have somewhat of a good Yankees team, or this team would be trash in the fucking garbage barrel. So anyway, Renee Young, that's the big news for tonight's go-home show. Renee Young starts her broadcast career officially as a mainstay of the commentary booth. She starts that tonight. That's huge news because that's going to divide a lot of people. Like I said, a lot of people are happy. A lot of people are like, fucking women's movement. Fucking women. And those are usually the people that have never had a date in their life, never been kissed by a girl. They bring their little plate of food that mom just made them, and they go back to their little basement bedroom. But don't worry, don't feel bad for them that they're living in the basement. They're happy because they've lived there for so long that mom let them decorate it. So they got their own little WWE posters up, and they got their little fucking, they got their Pamela Anderson fucking from 20 fucking years ago, 20 plus years ago, Baywatch. They got that shit, that nice poster up there. They got Ariana Grande half naked at a concert maybe, fucking with her ass out. It's like fucking, I'm gonna be famous one day and marry Ariana Grande. But before that happens, I have to comment that I am not down for this Renee Young women's movement bullshit. I have to comment that first. And then I'm going on Mingles.com, Matchup.com, and I'm getting myself a date. So take that, Mom, after I eat your mashed potatoes and green beans. And you know I hate green beans, but I'm gonna eat them anyway because it's all you cook, Mom. But then I'm getting a date. Those other motherfuckers that are against Renee Young on the commentary booth. They're against anything female because they don't know what a female really is. They've never experienced it other than mom. And they don't want to see their mom on commentary booth. They don't want to date their mom. Or maybe they do. Listen, going on with Raw. Tonight, it's a little preview show that I'm putting together, right? So let's talk about the main storylines. Obviously, you got the fucking Shield. How would I book the Shield tonight? I would have Raw starting off with the Shield backstage looking for the entire heel locker room that beat the shit out of them last week. I would have them start off in catering, where you got about 3 or 4 heels right in catering, and they beat the fuck out of them in catering. The camera sticks with them. No commercial break. Now we're going down the hallway. Now we're going toward the heel locker room. In the process, we pass another 1 or 2 more heels. Shield beats the shit out of them in the fucking hallway area. Backstage. From catering, backstage, now they finally hit the heel locker room. And there's another 4 or 5 heels in there. And the Shield is destroying them. Until Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, they hit the ring. And they start calling out the Shield. That's a perfect way to start off Raw. And the Shield obliges. They end up coming down. And you can have them come through the fucking crowd. I don't give a fuck. They were already backstage. So you can have them come through the fucking rampway area. Wherever you want them to come from, you have them coming down. And by this point, the crowd should be hyped because we just saw the Shield beat the fuck out of everybody backstage. Not everybody, but you get the point. A shitload of people. A bunch of that heel locker room. Half of it has been beaten up backstage. Half of the heel locker room beaten up backstage. So the Shield is finally coming down slowly, and they're about to get in a ring with fucking Drew and Dolph and Braun. But it was a trap. And the other side of the heel locker room, the other half of the heel locker room, they're the ones who are coming from the crowd now. They jumped the barricades, and again, second week in a row, the Shield is getting the shit kicked out of them. Now, I want something cool to happen at the end of the show. That was all at the beginning of the show. Second week in a row, Shield getting beat down. Maybe at the end of the show, you have something more, though. Maybe the Shield capitalizes. Maybe the Shield gets a little bit of revenge. Maybe the Shield does something fucking epic. Maybe they come in a fucking tank backstage, destroying the fucking heel locker room backstage or in the parking lot. Who the fuck knows? Get creative. I don't need to book the ending. That's for WWE's creative to fucking get creative and actually give me a captivating cliffhanger to make me give a shit about Hell in a Cell. But I'll book the beginning of Raw for you. It's a trap. Roman, Dean, and Seth all beat the shit out of half the heel locker room backstage, but when they were called out by Braun, Drew, and Dolph, it was a trap. The other side of the heel locker room jumps the barricades. Shield gets the shit kicked out of them. You could have something happen throughout the show between that storyline, something epic to end the show, but that's the way you should start off Monday Night Raw, especially when you know you're competing against Monday Night Football. So you're going to have a lot of fans tuning in and out, and some might just totally tune out. That first segment is going to be Diesel. It is going to be the segment to get people in tune for Hell in a Cell. And if they see their heroes like Dean Ambrose, their heroes like Seth Rollins, and for some people, their hero, Roman, but as a collective Shield getting beaten down for the second week in a row, that's when people want to see the ultimate payoff. And at Hell in a Cell, you really think the Shield will get their revenge. Do they set up a tag team match between Drew and Dolph versus Dean and Seth? If that's the case, do the titles go right to Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose 2 weeks after Dolph and Drew just defeated the B-Team for those straps? So Dolph and Drew held it for only 2 weeks? Or is that the start of something and maybe in Melbourne, Australia, they drop the straps to Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins? Hope you guys are keeping track. They need to start off with a dominating segment to offset that Monday Night Football audience. And I think that's the way to do it. Another epic beatdown. If we don't have a cool badass faction to do the beatdown to the Shield, I guess the heel locker room is gonna have to do. You already started it last week. Let's do something epic this week. At least this week, we're actually prepared for it. We're not confused like last week. Now we know, if the story is told correctly, that Baron Corbin is just trying to hold down the Shield because through orders of Stephanie McMahon, it's not best for business to have the Shield owning Monday Night Raw. So Baron Corbin's big thing is he has to have the whole locker room, or at least the heel side, take out the Shield any which way possible, at any time possible, because those are direct orders through Stephanie McMahon, and Corbin has to make sure it happens. So if you're telling the story that way, it makes a lot more sense, and again, at least this week, we're more prepared for it. And I think that's a badass way to start it, because you got the Shield owning the first half of the first segment, and then in the second half when they're called out, again, they just can't overcome the numbers game. Hell in a Cell just got a lot more interesting. Moving on with the Raw preview and what's going to happen tonight. Shawn Michaels, does he show up again tonight? Does The Undertaker show up again? We already know Triple H will be in the middle of the ring. He's going to cut another promo, evidently, as a rebuttal to what The Undertaker said, as a rebuttal to maybe what Shawn Michaels said last week. And Triple H is going to try to sell Triple H versus Undertaker even more from Melbourne, Australia. They're really giving a lot of time to this one match at Melbourne. This is like their WrestleMania match for that big super show on October 6th, I believe it is. That's their big match that they're promoting, and it's taking a lot of Monday Night Raw time, I'll tell you that much. So when Triple H is in the middle of the ring, does Shawn Michaels come out? We already know, guys. Spoiler, if you don't want to hear this. Turn away. Take off the fucking headphones, whatever you gotta do. Shawn Michaels is officially going to be the special guest referee between Triple H and Undertaker at the Super Show, October 6th, Melbourne, Australia. That is official. Shawn Michaels is the special guest referee. How the fuck do you do that? Can I just ask that? You just had an epic face-to-face between Undertaker and Shawn, and now there's dissension there, obviously. So how is The Undertaker going to approve and okay Shawn Michaels now being a special guest referee? That does not make any sense. And how do you go about that? Now that Melbourne has already leaked that information, they're going to have to fast track that. They probably didn't want to make that announcement that Shawn Michaels was special guest referee for a few more weeks. At least after Hell in a Cell. Now, because it already leaked, you kind of have to fast track that tonight. Triple H kind of has to announce that tonight. But how do you do that? Does Shawn come out and beg to be special guest referee because he has to be in there one more time with The Undertaker, even if it's not wrestling? Doesn't make sense to me. And you're just trying to relive a moment that has already passed. That WrestleMania moment when Triple H took on Undertaker and Shawn Michaels was the special guest referee, and they're all arm in arm at the top of the rampway while the fans are showing their appreciation. That moment lives forever in Triple H's office. He has a picture of that. Almost like a plaque. And it's almost like Triple H sits in that office so much and he's like, I want to recreate that moment. If only I could. Oh wait, I basically run the company. I can relive that moment. It's basically what they're doing. The only way I'm okay with Shawn Michaels being a special guest referee between Triple H and Undertaker on October 6th is if that's going to lead to something bigger. And again, what we think is going to happen is Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker and a partner to be chosen at a later date. And that's going to be for the November Super Show. That's the only way I can see this happening. Otherwise, that whole Shawn Michaels promo last week was just to be a special guest referee. Again, no thank you, and I'd just be losing more brain cells than I already am. I don't need that shit. Special guest referee. All of that time wasted on Raw for a special guest referee. We've seen it. It's passé. It's redundant. It's over. I love you, Shawn. Come back if you're ready to wrestle, which I know you can. I know you got several more matches in you. I'm cool if you want to stay retired, but I'm exceptionally cool if you want to come back and wrestle. If not, we have a plethora of referees that can do the job 10 times better than you. Please, we don't need that bullshit. Again, unless it's going to create that tag team match for the next Super Show in November. Anyway, that is also going down tonight, guys. Triple H, middle of the ring. Does The Undertaker show up? Does Shawn Michaels show up? Do they all show up? Also tonight, guys, Rowdy Ronda Rousey is going to tag up with Natalya to take on Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox. The same 4 females in the same fucking ring every week. It's one-on-one, and there's a cheerleader in each of their corner. Ronda's the cheerleader a few weeks. Maybe Natalya's a cheerleader at the pay-per-view. Alicia Fox is a cheerleader to Alexa Bliss. Then Alexa Bliss is a cheerleader to Alicia Fox. Every week, it's the same 4. It's like seeing Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Riot Squad for 967 times. That's what we're getting. with Ronda, Natalya, Alicia, and Alexa. So now, finally, we're just going to throw them all there in a tag team match. They're not actually going to have Ronda Rousey lose, right? Even though it's a tag team match. But can you really make Alexa Bliss look any more weaker going into Hell in a Cell, where Alexa is going to challenge to try to get her strap back from Ronda Rousey? So does Alexa go down again in defeat in a tag format tonight, and then lose again, obviously in Hell in a Cell? Because I don't see Alexa Bliss leaving Hell in a Cell with the strap. That's about as believable as Nikki Bella taking the strap from Ronda Rousey. Not gonna happen. So we have that tag match to look forward to tonight. I dread what they have in store for fucking Sasha Banks and Ember Moon. Because another storyline tonight is that, or what we're going to get from last week, I should say, is Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke separated herself from Titus Worldwide. Now, Dana Brooke took to social media, and I think she said something to the likes of, I apologize to Ember. If I ever get the chance again, I'll be better. And basically, she's blaming Titus Worldwide for their tag match. Does that mean Vince McMahon is just going to throw Ember Moon in a tag team with Dana Brooke, just like he threw Sasha Banks in a tag team with Bayley? And when they start this women's tag team division, Ember Moon is stuck in a tag division with Dana Brooke, and Sasha's stuck in a tag division with Bayley, and I'm completely going ballistic at this point, because I'm dumbfounded, I'm befuddled at how you could take two fucking tremendous female athletes like Ember Moon and Sasha Banks and just go, shove them into the tag team division. How the fuck are you doing that? So we'll see. I'm not going to go ballistic yet. But if Ember Moon continues to be put in a tag team with Dana fucking Brooke, and that's the best you got for Ember Moon, forget about me losing the brain cells, man. Completely WWE creative. The suits and ties that run WWE, they've already lost those brain cells a long time ago. If you are wasting talent like Ember Moon and Sasha the way they are. But we'll see. But they're going to continue that Dana Brooke storyline tonight. Where does it go? Who knows? I hope it does not continue down the road of Ember Moon. Also tonight, guys, Mick Foley is returning to WWE, to a WWE ring anyway. First time in about 18 months. The last time we saw Mick Foley inside of a WWE Raw ring is when he was Raw General Manager, I believe. So this is a big moment for him, I'm sure. He always loves coming back. And it's always around this time, Halloween time, Hell in a Cell time, where Mick Foley, like nobody else can do, sells that cell so badass. He sells you on how vicious it is, how badass, how he almost lost not only his career but his life inside of that cell, how he went through that cell, how he went over that cell. Mick Foley, he's going to be on that mic tonight and lighting it up like nobody else can do. So that should be a fun exchange. I'm guessing somebody might come out. I don't know. I mean, is that where they use Braun Strowman and maybe they tease something that Strowman is about to beat the shit out of Mick Foley and then Roman Reigns comes down? Maybe that's how they set up the segment. I have no fucking idea. I just know Mick Foley should be a part of something cool. It shouldn't just be the promo. Somebody should come out from that locker room and try to poke at Mick Foley. Fuck with Mick Foley. Either Mick Foley drops them or somebody comes out to save Mick Foley. But you can do a lot of cool things with Foley because Foley is up for the challenge. Foley is up for whatever you have for him. If he's got to hobble around on one fucking leg, Mick Foley will do that and make it look fucking epic. Maybe he's got a fucking sock on his fucking hand. Who the fuck knows? Mick Foley will get the pop. Not just the cheap pop for announcing where he's at that night. But Mick Foley will always fucking captivate us, man. First with his words, and then you see a guy who is literally willing to put his whole body on the line. He's willing to die in the ring to put on the show for us. That's Mick Foley, man. The ultimate daredevil in that ring if I've ever seen one. So he's also coming back tonight as well. So in one hand, you could look at it as what could be a definitely a stacked Monday Night Raw. On the other hand, you could look at it and go, yeah, but no matter how stacked it might seem on paper, it's WWE we're talking about. It's Vince. They'll find many ways to fuck this show up. No matter what side of the fucking field you're on, we're hoping We're going to tune in out of habit and hope anyway, but we're hoping for a kick-ass go-home show because that's what it is, guys. This is their big Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Their biggest pay-per-view of the Halloween season, and it's weeks before Halloween, but it's their biggest fucking pay-per-view of the Halloween season, and they have to come out and dish it. Everybody needs to come out there tonight and tell us why we should give a shit about Hell in a Cell. I think they do it. Is booking going to allow them to do it? Is the booking and creative department going to give them the right stories to be told? Are they going to put them in the right ways to be shown and spotlighted on TV? Or are they going to look like clowns because the creative was clown paperwork? The sheets they were giving them was nothing but jokes, making the superstars look like jokes. I'm hoping it's not one of those Raws. I'm hoping this Raw comes out and the majority of this Raw dominates. You're going to have your fillers, you're going to have your bullshit, you're going to have your nonsensical, confusing moments. But if the majority can captivate the amplified man, then tomorrow's review and reaction will be a good one. If they continue to befuddle me and insult my own intelligence and put together shit shows, then tomorrow's review and reaction is going to be downright fucking brutal. And they deserve it if that's the case. We'll all tune in tonight to Raw, guys. Hopefully it's a fucking good one. Again, it's the go-home show to Hell in a Cell. And the Halloween season has officially begun. The Amplified Man be checking you guys tomorrow. For now, coffees and ass whoopings, and we'll check you later.